Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. In this video I'll be reviewing and talking about the rules of St. Celestine. At the moment you can only pick her up in the Triumvirate box set, which will set you about £50. She's really the showcase of the box set. In my opinion, Belisarius is fantastic too, but the model is definitely my favourite. My review, as you can see, will obviously cover St. Celestine and her Gemini Superior, which is Eleanor and Genevieve. Don't ask me which one's which, they're both equipped with exactly the same sort of war gear. So let's have a look at St. Celestine first, or St. Wobbly, as I've now named her. She does wobble about a bit, but obviously when she's still on the table, you're not gonna really, it's not really gonna bother you. Absolutely stunning model. One of the most beautiful models I've built. Very thin, fiddly, very you're not really sure how the parts sort of fit together and which way around they go. Definitely have to follow the instructions quite closely, and I really didn't think that she'd be able to be held up by these two sort of plastic scrolls, although the model herself is very light and the wings are very light too. Normally with wings and thin pieces they're quite firm and rigid, but these are really sort of flexible, which is great. If you drop it, or if it goes in a carry case or something like that, it's really going to add to the longevity of the model. So as you can see, she's got her power sword there and a telekinetic sort of doves that she's manifested, and yeah, absolutely stunning model. They've done such a superb job with this. Lots of little details like the sort of roses there, and just the power armor, just incredible. And the iron halo, just superb model. Let's have a look at her two Gemini. Again, these are in the same vein, sort of leaping up with their power, with their jetpacks on sort of scrolls. Stunning models, lovely, lovely detail. Their bolt pistols and power swords. I love the jetpacks. Absolutely incredible. And then let's have a look at the final one. So here she is again, sort of aiming with the bolt pistol, the power sword. Beautiful models. Really can't wait to spray them gold. And if you've seen my Instagram and things, the gold sort of colour comes out really well on custodians, and that's what I'll go for with these, sort of slowly building a small force of golden warriors. There you go, so they're the models. So model wise, absolute pleasure to build, and they just look fantastic. So now what I'll do is I'll just talk to you about the rules. It's worth noting that the sort of data sheet that you get in the instruction book isn't the full thing. What I mean by that is it doesn't have a list of her saintly blessings, but it has a list of everything else, like the war gear and things. So there's no real way of knowing what the saintly blessings are unless you sort of buy the codex. But if you're buying these models, which is part of the Gathering Storm sort of campaign, I really don't know why you wouldn't buy the codex. She is another HQ choice. She'll set you back with her two sort of bodyguards. 200 points. Her stat line is weapon skill, ballistic skill 7, which is incredible. She's only got strength 3 and toughness 3. She does have 5 wounds though, and her initiative is 7. She's got 5 attacks. Her leadership is 10, and she gets a 2+ save. And then the Gemini Superior, their weapon skills are 5, which is great. The ballistic skill is 4, strength and toughness 3. They've got 2 wounds each. They've got initiative 4, they get 2 attacks each, leadership 10 and 3+ save. Now the war gear, they get bolt pistols and power swords, frag grenades and crack grenades. It doesn't say sort of exactly what St. Celestine has in terms of war gear, but essentially she does have the Ecclesiarchy relics, which is the Ardent Blade, which is a flame-wreathed blade. Would have been nice if they had sort of some plastic sort of flames coming off it, but again, it's still beautiful the way that they've done that. That weapon is an Assault 1 template weapon, Strength 5 AP4, so pretty much a heavy flamer. Or it ups her strength by 2, so she gets Strength 5, AP3, melee, armor bane, and master crafted. So even though she's weapon skill 7, she's got a master crafted 5 attacks, or 6 on the charge, with her AP3 weapon, which is incredible. She's going to be cleaving through a lot of Space Marine armor, Chaos Space Marine armor, and with armor bane, that's the 2d6 to penetrate. She could potentially get 15. I'm not saying that you should throw her against the Land Raider, but certainly against tanks or the side of tanks, she should do quite well. She's also got the armour of St. Catherine, which is a revered suit of golden power armour, and she gets the 2+ normal save and then a 4+ invulnerable, probably highlighted by the sort of inbuilt iron halo at the top. Let's talk about their special rules. They've got Adamantium Will, Eternal Warrior for Celestine only, Fearless, Hit and Run, independent character for her, and Saintly Blessings, which I'll go through in a moment. Now, Divine Guardians, the Gemini Superior also both have an invulnerable 4+ save, and as long as one is alive, you can resolve any wounds suffered by Celestine against the Gemini Superior closest to her instead. St. Celestine's permitted to join other units, and also that means that the Gemini Superior join that unit too. If Celestine then leaves the unit, the Gemini also leave it. So they're pretty much a trio. You're not really going to separate them. St. Celestine's also got this shooting attack called the Emperor's Vengeance. Once per battle, she can make a shooting attack which has an unlimited range. It's a Strength 8, AP3, Assault 1, Barrage, Large Blast, Orbital. So Large Blast I would assume is the 5-inch. So it's pretty much like an orbital strike that she can fire down. Now that includes this orbital special rule, which if an arrow is rolled on the scatter dice when firing a weapon, it scatters the full 2d6, regardless of a ballistic skill. So a 2 in 6 chance of it scattering a full 2d6, and you can't take a ballistic skill off there. She's got Healing Tears. At the start of each of your turns, set up a single slain Gemini Superior anywhere within 2 inches of Celestine. So pretty much when she cries, one of her friends comes back to life. Martyrdom. If she's got Martyrdom and she's your Warlord, you can remove the casualty during the battle. All friendly units comprised of models with active faith special rule automatically pass all leadership tests. That's pretty cool. Miraculous Intervention. So the first time St. Celestine is removed as a casualty, she must take a leadership test. If it's failed, she's slain as normal, but if successful, remember it's a leadership 10, you can leave a counter on the spot where St. Celestine is lost. So I'm really interested how people will... I would love to make a little counter that's the same size as her base, but like, not with her slain, but like a little gravestone with a sword lent against it and some flowers on it or something like that. I'm really interested in what people do. I think that's some great scope for making a counter just for her. And you put this counter where she lost her last wound, and then the start of your next turn, you place her back on the battlefield. So you might want to just make a model of her that's just sort of kneeling, but with her armour broken and things like that, instead of a gravestone. It's up to you. That would be cool too. But the model itself, it's not really flexible enough for you to do that out of the current parts. So I just thought I'd put that on. So you place her back on the battlefield with all of her wounds restored. So all the 5 wounds restored within 1 inch of the counter. And then she can act normally in the turn she resurrects. So obviously she can move about and stuff, and she can even use her Healing Tears to restore one of the slain Gemini Superior. And if she's your Warlord, Martyrdom special rule will only take effect if she fails a leadership test to resurrect, or she's been removed as a casualty for a second time. If she's been slain and the game ends before she can return to the battlefield, she does count as destroyed. And Miraculous Intervention has no effect if St. Celestine is removed as a casualty a second time. So unfortunately, she only gets to get up once, if that makes sense. Warlord trait, Beacon of Faith. So all friendly models within 12 inches of her use her leadership when taking an act of faith or war hymns. It's not a huge range, 12 inches, but it's still something. Now, she's got this, under a special rule, she's got this saintly blessings. At the start of each of your turns, she can bestow a saintly blessing. It affects all non-vehicle units within range of 12 inches, and here they are. So she's got Heroic Zeal, which affects HQ units only. They gain the Zealot special rule until the next turn. Fanatical Fortitude, all models in the unit. This is for troops only. All models in the unit gain Feel No Pain 6+, and they have that until the next turn. And if they already have Feel No Pain, you just add 1 to their Feel No Pain. So that will really buff your Sisters of Battle that normally have the Feel No Pain. So they're pretty much getting a 5+ invulnerable, which is great. It's a great buff. Religious Fanaticism. This is for elites. They gain Counter Attack and Furious Charge. Devout Determination. For fast attack units, they gain Crusader and Fleet. Pious Grit. Heavy Support, they get Relentless. And Indomitable Faith. For Lord of War units, they gain It Will Not Die for the remainder of the battle. So not until the next turn, like all of the rest. So that's all the rules. In summary, as I said at the start, absolutely fantastic model. And I actually just thought that she would be in a box set on her own for, say, sort of like £30. I know I'm giving GW an idea, but if she was in a box set for £30, I'd pay that, because it's just a fantastic model, such a centrepiece to an army, and it's going to be an incredible model to paint too. What do you think of St. Celestine and her 2 Gemini? Put your comments below. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.